I am recording, so it will be up later. And all right, let me come here, just set this up. Very good. All right, so yoga class. I've had some people ask about what's because the July schedule is a little different. Please communicate to me if anything is you're having challenges with it. And by the way, I'm going to put myself on full view. I want the full screen view. Yeah. So if you're heartbroken that there's no more 11:30 classes, let me know. Just anything that's on your mind that you notice. My real ultimate driver for all of this is to provide services to everybody, and I'm very planning to really develop this way of delivering all my programs long term, way past whether we have lockdown and so forth, because it's always been a dream of mine. So thank you for motivating me in this direction. Joanna Hyde was the first person who asked, so thank you, Joanne. Look what's happening because of you. So today, yoga class. I was reading a quote very recently that really resonated with me about aging is the process of carrying yesterday into today. And it's a very profound insight how we store memory, we store recollections, we store resentments and hates, and the burdens of the past, because it is the burdens aspect that really weigh us down and create more heaviness, more tiredness, more fatigue. So not to say that time has an effect on all of us, but learning to unburden, to let go, to not hold on to grudges and resentments, which polarize us into something good and bad, because that creates hardness in the body and hardness in the mind and hardness in the heart. It's always a never-ending journey to let go. Find areas where we're really challenged, we're resisting, where we're blocking, where we want things to be different from the way they are, and dismantling them. Because it's not a question of being a Pollyanna and going, oh, life is good and great, and I don't want to think about anything negative. It's about facing, face on, witnessing yourself, face on with everything that's in you, and then gently seeing how much can you unravel and shift from that to see things in a new light. It can have a parallel on decluttering your home, how much lighter and better you feel when you let go of the past you've been carrying forward. Stuff is a major aging aspect because it's a trigger in our environment to a personality we were yesterday. It keeps us from a new personality today. So the process we do with yoga is always unraveling, undoing. In the last classes about fascia release, we work very much to open and release the chest and open up the collarbones and lift the sternum up. So we're going to be carrying that into today's practices, and we were also working to lengthen the quads and the thighs. So with all of this awareness, let's sit up nice and tall. Get a sense of broadening the collarbones and the shoulders, so there's a sense of openness. And then from the hips to the knees and down into the feet, can you feel the legs moving out? So just literally energetically tap into all of that. And close your eyes and take a moment to feel your own energy. Feel if there's places that you're contracting or you're blocking. Areas that feel good, areas that feel bad. Just tap into all of it, because it's a never-ending ocean of different qualities that will always be new and unique to the day. And as you witness and meet yourself, how much can you let go of tension and resistance? And then open further this sense of your heart, your center being wide, being gracious filled, being warm. and that all is fine. Everything is fine about yourself, about your world, about the rest of the world. And regardless of the cycles that all these realities are going through, this too shall change. And then tap into a bigger place where you are part of this world. You are the ocean. You're not an observer of the ocean, you are it. And it is a never-ending changing process, so attachment doesn't serve. And from this place, see what intention you would like to make for this yoga practice for you. Get clear about the intention or the request or the confusion you want to get more insight about. Take a deep breath in. Take this intention, place it in your heart center, and then slowly breathe out, let everything go. Come back into your neutral space, and then slowly open your eyes. And just to validate all of this opening, put one hand on the side of your hips and use the hand to ground the hips down. In fact, if you can actually, as you do this, I'm going to adjust my feet. See if you can get the other hand and press it down. Literally slide your hand down to lengthen the hip out towards the knee. So you create length there, and then bring the arm up. First lift it, so you're lifting the ribs away from the hips. And then while this hand is pushing this way, open out. So you're expanding your side ribs, first of all, while lifting the side rib cage away from the waist. Take a deep breath in here. And as you breathe out, open the chest a little bit towards the ceiling. If you can, use the hand on the floor to keep pushing up and opening. And reach this hand back, creating a nice opening of an arc. And then come back, reconnect, place the other hand down, slide this hand down to lengthen away, lift the ribs, lift your arm up, use your arm and your ribs to create even more lift, and while this hand pushes the ribs in the opposite direction, start tractioning out. So again, you're creating this big opening between the ribs, between the intercostal muscle, opening and separating them. And then slowly reach even further back and open your chest upwards. So you get this nice, beautiful opening happening. And then come back up. And then take the shoulders up and roll them back and keep squeezing them back just for a minute. Getting that pinch between the shoulder blades for most people is a very weak area because those muscles forgot how to contract. So just imagine you have a walnut between your shoulder blades and squeeze, and then lift your chest just to get a sense of lifting the sternum away from the navel, whatever it takes to get this lift. And notice what's making it happen in your own body. And then relax again. Then come onto your hands and knees. And place the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, and just a few cat-cows to loosen everything up. So lift your head and arch. Extend up. See how much you can lift the ribs away from the floor. And then reverse in the opposite direction, rounding down, scooping the belly up and spreading your shoulder blades wide apart. Let the head dangle. And again, lifting up. See if you can get a sense of the front body widening and opening and the back body sinking down. So the back is sinking into the front. If you let the shoulder blades go and pinch the shoulder blades, you get even more of that quality. And then reverse in the opposite direction. Pull the stomach in and up, lift it. See how much you can push away from the floor. Check that your head is relaxed. And then a little bit faster, back and forth in your own time. Just move and feel your own body. And start to get in touch with how each time you could actually make it a little bit different, like focusing differently. Our focus point is a very specific isolation. It's like the lens of a camera looking in one specific area, bringing it into focus, and the rest is more diffuse. And much of life always works like that. So notice that as you put your attention in certain parts of your body, it kind of opens a whole universe to you. And the rest of the body is fading into the background slightly. And it's just a question of kind of guiding this in different directions. Now keep rounded, just press way back from up to the ceiling and come back to the middle. So now we're going to open the chest a little bit more. Take your left or one hand, it doesn't matter which hand, and put it right in the middle. So if I was to draw a line, when my hands are apart, they're like two pillars. Now if I was to take the center of my chest, it's lined up so that if the other hand is maybe an inch very close. When I start to twist, I want to take this shoulder and stack it. So now it's moved. You have to watch your hip, that your hip stays square. So the first movement is that, and then the other hand goes up. So that you're really stacking on top of this hand, but pulling the hip backward. And really pull up with it. Now take this hand and slide down. As you go down, your face or your skull will go close to the hand on the floor, and you stretch the opposite direction. And again, rotate. Get that bottom shoulder forward and the other shoulder up. And then see how much you can pull the shoulders apart. Check your hips. And then other way, sliding down. And again, sliding up, opening as much as you can, and sliding down. Come back to the middle and place both hands, make pillars with them again. And now take the opposite hand, place it in the center of the chest area, check that you're over the hand and start to stack. Before you kind of go full range, you can check elbow, shoulder, are they making a straight line? Is your hip pulling back? And then open in opposition as much as you're able to. And then slide down. So I'm taking my head towards the hand as I reach the other hand down. It's just the change in a slight angle of your base arm provides a completely new spectrum of movement in the body. And down. Long arm reaching up on the floor. And again, so you're working into the ribs, into the side body quite extensively in order to open up and mobilize that chest area. And then come back, hands right together, and we'll do a little bit of opening into the front hips right now. Take one knee and bring it forward. And you can be in a complete box. You could also be a little bit further forward. So now we're going to work on opening this area. You can also stay down with the hands. As much as you can, just come into a lunge. So bringing the hands down is good. The back knee, if you're very tight there, you want to pad it. Those of you that are more flexible, if you notice, I rolled over the kneecap to get more into a stretch. It's actually much more comfortable, but there needs to be a certain range of movement that's available if you do that. Then as you stretch back, notice this leg and flex it and bend over the front leg. Just easing in to stretch. The more you flex, the more of an stretch you can get into the back of the leg. And again, gently coming forward, opening up the hip flexor. And then back. So hip flexor is more in the groin area. Quad is more the whole thigh. So it doesn't really matter where you're feeling it. They're all interrelated, and we're looking to get all of these areas starting to open up. And then down, extending back flexing the back leg, the front leg, I'm sorry. Come back onto both knees. Get yourself stabilized. Notice what you're feeling in your body in this side that got stretched out. And bring the other side forward. So again, a box or further. What you don't want is too close together. And again, lunging forward, stretching out, rolling over the kneecap if you can do that, or padding if it feels uncomfortable, very important. And other direction. Flexing back, making sure this, so if you're very flexible, you can grab the foot and pull it to get even more of a stretch. If you're not, you're getting a stretch, you're doing good. Coming forward. Lengthening that quad out. Coming back. And lengthening. And again, coming forward. And back. Come back onto your hands and knees and sit back into your heels. And just for a minute, sit up and just check if you're able to sit like this. Pad yourself, do whatever you need to get yourself comfortable. Pillows or something under the feet. Hands in prayer pose and kneeling sun salutations. Check the collarbone line. Is it long and wide? You want this wide thing today. Forward on the hands and knees. Bend the elbows, lowering down. Press back up. Sit back towards your heels, stretching the hips out. Roll up to a sitting position. Hands go out. Settle in prayer. Forward on your hands and knees. Bend the elbows, lowering down. Press back up. Sit back towards your heels. Roll up to a sitting position. Hands roll out. Settle in prayer. Forward on your hands and knees. Bend the elbows, lowering down. Press back up. Sit back towards your heels. Roll up to a sitting position. Hands roll out. Settle in prayer, adding the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Smoothing out the movement, smoothing out the breath. Seeing if you can stay very fluid and continuous. Exhale out. Inhale, sit. Exhale to prayer. One last time. Inhale forward. Exhale down. So here we go. We're checking all the time. It's not about getting anywhere. It's about linking up all these moment, secondary movements to create harmony. Very, very nice. Now clasp your hands behind your back. Again, squeeze those shoulder blades together and see if you can stretch your arms back, and can you get a stretch across the collarbones. If you're a very flexible person and you're doing this, can you pull the ribs back and still get these shoulders pulling way, way, way back in order to open up the collarbones. Take a deep breath into your high sternum, breathing in. Opening up between the shoulders if you can, breathing out. One more time, breathing in. Opening up the collarbones as much as you can, breathing out, relax. Please watch me for a minute, this next one, because I think it's impossible to do if you don't know. So you'll be holding your hands like this. You're putting your head on the floor, top of the head, and then you're lifting up and rocking forward. Now, quick note, some of you have tight shoulders. If you are a person with tight shoulders, use a strap. Have your hands wide and you will be able to have a delicious stretch. The goal is a delicious stretch, not feeling spastic and stuck and glued together and awkward. So just keep that in mind. If your shoulders are stiff, get something. So here we go, clasping. If you haven't already started, get your head on the floor, get the top of the head, the crown of the head on the floor. Stretch your arms as far back as you can and start rocking forward to get even more stretch in the shoulders. If you are very flexible, get your forehead as close to your knees as you can, so it's almost like rabbit pose. Take a deep breath in here. Fill up your back body, and as you breathe out, can you soften the shoulders and go a little bit further? And one more time, big breath in. Fill up the back rib cage, and breathing out, soften in the shoulders even more. What can you let go of to let the joints release? And then sit back, keep your head down in child's pose, get your hands by your feet, and just for a minute, let the elbows drop out so you widen the back body. We just squeezed it closed. Now we're widening and stretching it sideways, letting everything open. Roll yourself up to a sitting position again. Stack up your spine. Feel the sensation of a vertical line from your hips through your head. Rabbit pose is next. It's similar. Please have a look if you don't know what it is, because it's the same thing. Your head's going to be down. You clasp your heels. Get the forehead as close to the knees as you can, and you rock forward and up, and you pull on the heels strongly to open up the space between the shoulder blades. So there's a harmonic. The front body and the back body always are interactive, so you want both qualities. So if you haven't started, hold your heels, lift your bottom up, get the top of your head on the floor, and get your head and forehead as close to the knees as you're able to. Once you're set, you start rolling your bottom up as much as you can and pulling on the heels to get a stretch. If you're flexible, lift the shoulders as well, away from the ears, and everybody can pull this stomach in more and more and more to scoop, and that will open up your lower back as well. So just take a deep breath in here. Breathing out, feel that tissue open. Breathing in, you're riding the edge of what your body's ready to experience. Breathing out, release any additional tension. See if you can go a little deeper. One more time. Breathing in. Breathing out, open up the back body. Again, sit down, let your forehead drop, let your elbows drop, child's pose. Let the back body widen over your legs. Roll yourself back up to a sitting position. Settle in and feel your own spinal column. Feel the vertical line from the hips through the top of the head. So you tap into what perpendicular is for you today. Very important plumb line. Push, the energy of the body is pushed upwards rather than needing to be gripped back. Forward on your hands and knees again. We're going into down dog. Curl the toes under. Make a corner in the hips and widen the hips. Two sides of the thighs pushing sideways. Literally feel as though you're pushing from your hips to your knees out. Can you feel? We'll connect into the muscles right at the base of the glutes and into the side muscles, and then slowly push back. Can you get from your hips to your hands in a straight line with your knees bent? You want that nice bent knee position to get more length in your spine from the hands all the way to the hips. Then very slowly, keep pushing your heels down. The intention is to get as much bend in the ankle as you can and your sit bones up. Keep working in that direction and slowly work towards straight knees. It doesn't matter if you straighten the knees, it matters if the ankle and the hip area is open and the hamstrings and the calves are getting a nice stretch. Really lengthen yourself out. And just for fun, hinge forward now to a plank. Can you come to a long straight position? And one more time back to your down dog. Lengthen away. And now lift your head, look at your hands and jump or walk. Bring your legs forward and bring your feet together. And hang down here, holding your elbows, letting the body relax down, and just move the elbows in a figure 8, and then sink. So you allow the body to get very long, hinging and lengthening. See if you can get more and more in touch with the weight of the body, and then relax your arms and roll yourself up to a vertical position. Just stand here for a minute, standing Shavasana. Very good. Now, opening the chest, you know, people always think of pulling the shoulders back, but a lot has to do with the muscles in the front here, and I want to go over a little stretch and opening in this area. So find yourself a wall where you can put your hand against. And now I will do this, right? Yes, I'm going to put my bob switches off. So you want this hand this way. The fingers are going back, and if possible, the height of the wrist is in line with your shoulder. Now, most of us, our shoulder is pulled forward. So you want to strive as much as you can to have this lifted and then pulled backwards and down into the back. So you're taking your shoulder blade and you're placing it on your back body. If you're real stiff in your trunk, the only way you'll be able to do that is by being archy. That's fine. We are focusing in this area right now. So get a nice lift and focus on this shoulder being open. And now very slowly start to rotate out. How far you go is dependent on keeping that shoulder blade pulling back and down. So you just want to feel the stretch opening up in this area as best you can. So you can go a little bit further. The stretch should be here. It doesn't matter how far you go, really. It matters you find this front area in front of the collarbone, into the deltoid, into the arm. That's what you open. And then relax. Turn around, do the same on the other side. And set yourself up, Wally. You have to be quiet. Hold it. So hand is right there. Check your shoulder. The shoulder is rolled back. The hand is in line with your shoulder. Start opening. Be attentive, because a lot of times if you go too far, your shoulder cuff rolls in. You don't want that. You want it opening. So you have this lovely stretch. Feel that. Very, very important rotation that you want happening. So you can go a little further if the tissue is ready to release and expand more. If not, just be there, witness it, see if you can relax into it. And then come back and just stand for a minute. Notice how you feel. With this open, with this quality of awareness, let's go into the standing salutations. Hands are together. Open the arms out. Now both shoulders are rotated back. We're not taking them back, but we're going to the side. So can you keep the qualities of the collarbones and stretch? Also lock the elbows, lock the fingers. The more you can tighten and reach, the more the muscles will get toned. Bring the hands back. Again, open out, expand, tighten the muscles right between the armpit and the elbow. If you can really squeeze and pull apart and tighten your elbow enough, you'll feel the bottom area, which gets a little sluggish, your tricep. Tighten up and jump up towards the bone. You want to get that quality if you can. Come back in. And again, extend out. Tighten everything. Lift the whole body up. Now, full body expansion. And then come in. Adding in, opening the arms out. Stretch them. Head goes back as the arms come up. Now, traction the whole spine. Bring the hands in. Open the arms out again. Really feel that expansiveness. Bring the arms up. Bring the hands back. Open the arms out again. Hands go back, reaching up and back to center. Moving into going full flow. I'm just turning sideways. Open the arms out. Take your head back and bring the arms up. And now swan dive all the way down towards the mat. Relax way down. Take a moment here to check how long and low you can get. And then first of all, lift your head, pull the shoulders back, and then arc your back. And if you can't do that because without coming up, come up to a place where you can feel the whole spine, like in cat-cow, arcing. Lower back down and lengthen in. And then roll up. Sweep the arm, bring the arms up, bring the hands together, bring the hands to prayer. Open the arms out again, sweep them way up, and swan dive all the way down towards the mat. Nice long extension all the way down. Lift your head and chest, lift to wherever you need to get that length in the spine. Lower back down, lengthen further down, and then roll up. Sweep the hands out, reach the arms up and stretch. Bring the hands to prayer. Last simple variation, open the arms out, reach up, and big swan dive all the way out, all the way down. Relax your head and shoulders down, body hangs down. Lift your head and chest and look out. Lower back down, roll up, sweep the hands out, lift up, lengthen up, stretch up, and bring the hands to prayer. Moving on, take the hands out, take your head back and lift up, and swan dive all the way down towards the mat. Lift your head up and back down, and now step back with one leg, nice long stretch. Take a moment to pause here and really push the heel back and see if you can sink down with the hips and feel that stretch in the back leg. Stretch in your quad or your hip flexor perhaps. Bend the knee down. So now we're in this same lunge. Get back in touch with it. Can you bring your body up? So just take a moment here in this position. See if you can deepen the lunge even more. And open the chest out. Get a sense of all of these beautiful openings happening if you can. Bring your hands down again and step back and go into your down dog. Nice long stretch. The heels pressing back from the hands to the hips back. Lengthen and expand all the tissue as much as you can. The body's starting to open. Bring yourself to plank. Check. Are you steady? Are you strong? Are the legs active? Is the stomach pulling up? And then either bend the knees or keep them straight and lower to the mat. All the way to the mat. Stretch your toes and reach them away from you. You want to feel as though from the front of your hip flexors, you're reaching the feet out. In fact, if you can hook the toes, I'm hoping you can see that, you can pull back to get a sense of the front tissue of the thighs lengthening. Now from here, we lift up a little bit with the hands and take them off into serpent. So the front body is reaching forward, and lower body is reaching down. Come back down. Lift into serpent again. Keep the shoulders lifted and lift further up to the navel, if you can, for your cobra. Just the navel. Come back down. Serpent, cobra, keep those legs nice and long and lift up. And then allow the hips to be heavy and look up. So up dog. Lower down. Curl the toes way under you. Check that your shoulders are lifted and push back into your down dog. So some of you can do plank and back, some of you bend the knees. Adjust the foot position and lengthen as far back into your down dog as you're ready to do. See how much you can open up. The feet, the ankles, the calves, the backs of the knees, the hamstrings, the hips, and lengthen the whole spine. Take one leg and lift it up behind you. See how high you can get it. And now a hip opener, you're going to bend the knee. Push this knee as high as you can and then send it across the body in the opposite direction to have a nice stretch. Then bring it in nice and slow towards the front, the two hands, and bring the leg forward. And just for a minute, bend the back leg down and another lunge. Just opening up those hip flexors and lengthening. And then straighten the leg, step forward and bend down, relaxing down as much as you can. Roll yourself up to an upright position. Rotate the arms out, sweep the arms up, and bring the hands together. Nice, long, extended lift. Bring the hands to prayer. Open the arms out again. Take the head back and bring the palms up and together, lifting out of the hips. Sweep the arms out and swan dive all the way down towards the mat. Lift your head up and extend. Lower back down. And now the opposite leg steps way back and just find the position with your legs straight first of all. And push the heel backwards. And as you push the heel back and rock, see how much you can get a sense of opening the hip. Bend the knee down. Lunge forward. Bring the hands up and lift the chest. So you have a lot of qualities happening at the same time. Bring the hands down again with care and step back into your down dog. Take advantage of opening all these joints every time, again and again and again. Come forward to your plank, check your stability. And then lower to the mat. And again, extend the toes and use the pull to discover how can I get a sense of the legs lengthening away, lengthening out of my hips in the front of my groins. Now lift your head and chest, serpent. Lower down. Head and chest, serpent. Hands on the floor, shoulders back. Lift up to the navel. Long stomach. Lower back down. Serpent, cobra, up dog. Long and lift your head. Open everything up. Lower back down to the mat. Curl the toes under you and push back into your down dog. And again, adjust the position. Make it work for you. Take advantage of being warmer now to open your joints a little bit more deeply and just scan your body to see where does it feel good to get a little more movement happening. Take your other leg up to the ceiling. Bend the foot towards your bottom first of all, and then rotate the knee to the ceiling so your hip opens way up. Really get that openness in the whole front of the groin if you can. And then very consciously and carefully rotate back to square. Bring your knee in towards your chest. I usually lift up on my fingertips to step forward and bend the back knee again. And again, stretch the front of the thigh. And then straighten the leg, step forward. Let your body hang down. Lift your head and chest and look out. Lower back down. Roll up to a standing position. Turn the hands out. Reach the arms up. Bring the palms together and lift everything up. And then bring the hands back to prayer. And then bring the hands down. Standing Shavasana. Just take a moment to feel your body. Feel your energy. Feel your vitality. Feel your presence. And then relax. Very good. Let's come back down onto the floor. And bring the soles of the feet together today. So we're also going to widen. So we're looking to get length and openness. So in this position, where's my block? Some of you, if you find that you're really uptight and very blocked, see if you can elevate yourself up so that we want as much as we can. We're always striving to get this pelvis going straight down, and then allowing the legs to open so that we're really working in our sockets and hips. Otherwise, we're pulling on our back. So see where you can be, where this verticality, you're as close to it as you can be. And from that position, some of you have your feet on the floor. The other thing is, if your feet are really high, you can pile pillows or some kind of blocks under. It actually makes you feel more stable, and then the body relaxes more. So get yourself in a position that's comfortable, and then imagine energy from the groins going out to the knees. So you want this sense of widening everything and pulling it out. And notice that as you pull out, you can, with your hands, pull a little bit further forward and up from your lower back through the head. Some of you will have your knees right on the floor now. That's wonderful. You want that energy. You don't want it to be a passive pose, a very active pose. Really press those knees out. Then relax. You can have the hand to the side or maybe more to the back. And you'll take this other hand and you slide 2 movements. From your inner thigh, you're rolling out and back. So you're rolling the thigh open and then away from you. Just find that place where you get that leverage to literally see if you can get a sense of the thigh moving away from the socket and opening up. Maybe a micro adjustment in the pelvis is what is needed to get that release. And then come back. Because our hip joints, they sit in a socket and they actually have some give, but they're usually so jammed in there that we don't even know about that potential. So roll the thigh out, extend it away, and see if you can get this sense of tractioning the leg out. Such a lovely feeling when you can make it happen. Really, it's like, oh, that's delicious. And then come back and bring your feet further forward. So now you're in what's called a diamond shape. Take the block and see if you can put it between your feet. So let me see if I turn sideways. Yes, so now I have the block between the feet. The wider it is, the more challenging this position is, because now it's really asking your hips to do a number. You want to pull the flesh of the glutes of the thighs sideways, and then reach back under again. From your sit bone into the glutes, also pull backwards. So we're separating the glutes from the hamstrings. Very useful thing to do. Now, pull forward. So again, you don't want to be falling down. You want this tractioning forward and pressure of the knees out. The more you can get the legs feeling like they're going out, the more space you have in order to create the forward movement. Some of you will have your head right down on the block. That's amazing. Some of you maybe not. That's why we're all working. It's all the same. If you're getting a stretch and an opening, you're journeying through your own body. And that's really the journey you want to take. Then come up and keep that nice wide feeling in the pelvis. Don't shift it. Don't move it. Get your block away. And just for a minute, stretch your legs out. Do not move your buttocks or your sit bones. Check that the hamstrings are pulled sideways, because the legs normally will roll out. Have a look at your own knees. You want them straight. Can you get that vertical lift here? If the knees are a little bent to make it happen, so be it today. Take one knee and bend it up. Now, do not move your bottom. Keep those sit bones steady and bring this foot in as tight as you can without moving. We instinctively move to make it easier, and we want to find the tight areas. That's what we're looking for in all this work. Hold your knee, other hand behind, big lift, pull the knee across your body and rotate the opposite shoulder towards it. And just twist as much as you can. How much can you get this hand to open? Now, some of you are very flexible. For some of you, this is it. Are you still on both sit bones? Those that are more flexible, hike the elbow. and twist a little bit more. If you're really flexible, you reach back towards the leg and you twist a little bit more. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're really flexible, you rotate and you grab. It doesn't matter where you are. It matters if you're working the stretch that opens you up. So this is not about what anybody else does, but stay in integrity for yourself. Stretch your legs out. Check the verticality of the body. So you're starting to really move in the center of the body. Don't move your bottom. Bend the other leg. Bring it as high up as you can without losing the sit bone and the glute area. Hold the knee, other hand behind you, pull the leg across, lift up, and rotate. Keep lifting up the whole body, looking to get the shoulder and the knee as close together. Don't move your bottom. This knee is a huge area that can add to the range of movement if it's ready to open. So you're opening up your IT band. Those of you who want, get that elbow, lift and twist a little bit more. If you can, you stretch on this side. I can't get there, so I'm not going to demonstrate further, but reach back and hold your knee if you want to. And those of you who want to wrap around and grab your wrists, you can do that too. Just keep lifting and rotating and opening up as much as you can. And then stretch your legs out. Lift your spine up. Get your strap. If it's nearby, we're doing a forward bend unless you're a super stretchy person and you have the range of movement. And first of all, from the spine to the shoulders, get those shoulders wide. So same feeling. Can you get the collarbones really, really wide and lifted? The feet are nicely flexed. So the whole chest area is very open. Just hold this position and see if you can get in touch with how to lift the spinal column up even more. Just for fun, if you're holding, one hand comes off and up. Can you use the arm to get even more height in your body? Bring the hand back. Use the hand holding the strap to keep the chest lifted. Bring the other arm up. If you can't get it all the way up, if you're still here, just more work to do to open up the chest and the lats and the whole upper shoulder area. Then come back, nice lift, and start to lengthen out. Take your time, you don't want to collapse. You want this broad collarbone area as you're hinging forward. So you're lengthening out as far as you can. Use your hands. Some of you can grab your feet. Just keep lengthening out. In this position, take a deep breath in, lengthen even further. Breathing out, let everything go. Again, breathing in, lengthen and open the chest. Breathing out, relax. One last time, breathing in, and then breathing out again, let everything relax. Come back up. Very good. And we will also open up in the inner thigh. So let's sit with our legs apart. So you want to lengthen the legs out as far as they're able to go. More important than open legs is how much can you lift up in the pelvis. So you want that nice lift of the spine. If you get your hands behind you, you can press open. You can get that sacrum area lifted as much as you can. Now, can you start hinging forward with that same shape? So the whole pelvis rolls as much as it's able to get this to start to go forward. So just work into this. Keep thinking of the thighs reaching out towards the feet rather than pulling in. When it's tight, we tend to pull against it instead of reach away. So see if you can get in touch with the energy of what you're doing and extend out to the limbs, out to the feet. out to the skull, out to the nice wide sense of your chest rather than in. Just to shift the subtle aspect of what you're doing. Then come back up. Just stay sitting just like this and take one hand and place it on your back so you can see. You want to place it on the inside of the knee. Bring the other arm up. Now the first movement is this arm is up. So you want this huge lift of the ribs. This leg is moving away from you. You can adjust your hand and you move, bend out. You want to be careful to open sideways, similar to the stretch we did earlier. You want those side ribs opening away and you reaching the other foot out as far as you can go. You want to find the stretch. The goal is always the stretch in your body, not a shape. So you can be looking at two people and they look completely different as far as what they're doing. If they're getting the stretch in the right places, they're both doing the pose correctly. That's why it's so interesting to understand what the teachings are, not to try to look like somebody, which is a useless waste of time. So lift the ribs. See if you can lift both ribs up because eventually the hinges from the hip socket. This arm up, lift a little bit more, and then can you get this length? The more you can pull out of the trunk and rotate it, the more freedom and space you'll be creating to get more movement to move, more space to move. Nice, open, extended position. And then come back up. Nice lift, and one more time, bring your feet together. See if you can get the feet a little closer in. Maybe you can grab your feet. If you can't, you grab your ankles. Wherever you can, lift, and as you lift, widen the knees. Think of them going out, away from you, more important than down. The more out they go, the more space there is in the socket for them to go down. Those of you who can, get them to go down as well. Big lift, and then gently pull yourself forward. See if you can pull from the base of the spine. It's more important. I can drop my head and collapse down, but that's just encouraging a collapse shape. You want to hinge from the base, from the hips, from the socket. Those are power places to open up and beautify you. Collapsing forward, we all do anyway. Collapse in front of the computer. Open up those groins. The more the groins open, the more movement there will be for space. Very good. Bring the knees together. Stretch the legs out and just bounce the knees up and down. Let's start opening up the sides of the legs as well. So coming up onto your hands and knees. Bring one knee forward so it's quite close to your wrist area. So we're going into a pigeon pose. So first of all, check these two hips. You want them more or less facing the front if you can. And from here, start to move the back leg backwards. So you probably are beginning to feel a nice stretch in the back and the front of the thigh again. Now, if you're really, really tight, you can get a block or a pillow or something to pad yourself there, so that again, padding and props are essential because then your body feels safe and it will start to open up. If you feel like, oh my God, I'm precarious, my arms are killing me, I can't do this, there's no improvement happening there. It's way too dangerous a position to be in. So figure out how to make yourself as comfortable as you can be. Use pillows, use props. You want this stretch either in the front of the back of the thigh and maybe massively in the glute and hip area of the bent leg. Wherever you're feeling it, it's good. Some of you want to go forward or even stretch out on the floor. So just get into a position you feel you can hold. Get in touch with the shape and take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, see if you can relax the areas that are super tight. Just kind of listen to them, witness them. Breathe in. Breathe out. And one more time, breathing in. Breathing out. And then with care, come out of this. Bring your knees and feet together and go into a child's pose. Just for a minute, have your arms in front or by your feet, whatever feels more comfortable. Lengthen out. So you're relieving the groins, you're relieving the glutes. You're relieving everything that was kind of in a more extreme place a minute ago. Come forward on your hands and knees again and bring the other foot forward. I'm sorry, not the foot, forgive me. The knee, what was I thinking? Square your hips. Check that you're not rolled out. You want the hip bones, the front of the pelvis facing as much straight as you can. Start walking your back leg backwards. Pad yourself up as much as you need to in the areas of usually at the front of the back of the leg. Even so, some people, if you're real up high, you may want something right under your front thigh. That's a factor too. So you want to feel safe, most important. So then you could start to go forward. My sweet Tinkerbell is here to help me feel safe. Yes, I love you too. And lengthen yourself out. I've already, my hip is just released a bit, so I can take the block away and move deeper into the stretch. So important to just listen in to what your body's wanting from you. Take a deep breath in. Breathing out, relieve the joints, relax all the areas, get in touch with the areas that are tight. Just listen to them, witness them, meet them where they are. Breathing in, breathing out. And one more breath, breathing out. And again, come back, go into your child's pose, and stretch yourself out. Let the groins go. Lift your head up, still in child's pose. Walk your hands to one side. So you stretch out the sides of the ribs. Relax your head down. Lift your head up. Walk your hands to the other side. And breathing out, let your head go down. Come back up, come back to the middle, and come back on your hands and knees. Now we're going to bring the knee that we had forward for pigeon toe forward again. But we're going to place the leg a little bit differently now. So the knee is forward. Now the goal is to get a 90-degree angle. So when I'm placing the foot, I'm looking at my hip, my knee, and my ankle make a 90-degree angle. That is your aspiration. Go forward here. So you place that position, and then you walk your back leg backwards as best you can. You will probably be considerably higher in your placement because this is asking a much more intense stretch. So here you go again. Get your block, your pillows, anything you need to support this angle, and then lengthen out. See if you can keep, usually the front foot starts to fly inwards because the angle of the stretch is much more unusual, but just kind of go with it. Find where you're tight. Breathe into it. Stay present. And then come back up. And child's pose again. Resting down. Letting your head relax. Letting your elbows relax. Come back up other side. So you bring your knee forward. If you need to adjust your bottom to do this, adjust. So now we're not taking our hips as our stable point, we're taking the leg as the alignment is. Now, for some of you, it may be so tight that you need to block the knee. That's fine. You want to look at your own body and see what geometry you need, and then see if you can stretch your legs out behind you. So I don't have more padding, but if I was, I would put something behind my back thigh as well, so that I'm held in that position, and then the body can go, oh, okay, I see what I need to let go of. And just rest into this position as best you can. And then again, come on out. Child's pose. Let your head drop. Come back up to an upright position. You want to stay sitting on your knees. And from here, drop both hips to one side. And, gosh, I'm just having, this hand is going to come around and hook. And if you can press it down, do so. So you're having a bit of a twist happening. And then the other hand, if you can, you roll it around behind this way. If you can, you grab your side. If you can't, you keep it on the side. It's an unusual twist that opens up and really brings forth some wonderful qualities in the body. So you want a nice lift and a rotation looking over your back shoulder. Get as much lift as you can in your body, and then turn your head the opposite way. So you also stretch into the neck. Just hold this position. And then come back. Bring your hips up. Drop your hips to the other side. And again, this hand comes over. Again, if this is too much, you find you can't balance, you hold on, you even keep your hand here. You find the angle. This is kind of the advanced version where you hook your fingers under, and then you take the opposite hand around and you grab your thigh if you're ready to. Again, if you're not, you use your hands to help you leverage. And turn your head and look backwards. And then turn your head and look forwards. Come back to the middle, back up on your thighs, and now another thigh stretch is hero's pose or virasana. Open your feet out sideways. So we're going to be sitting between our knees. Some of you may need a block, some of you may not. Once you're here, take your thumb and hook it right between the crease of the knee and pull your calf muscle down. So you're like splitting your calf muscle in half, pulling it down. You want to do both legs at the same time if you can. And then see if you can pull your calf muscles out as you sit back on top of the block or between your feet. Have a look at the feet themselves. Are they going straight backwards, or are they flaying out or flaying in? As much as you can, you want them going straight back. Now take your thumbs and right between the big toe and the little toe area, a little, maybe third toe, second or third toe, just push down in that area and pull out. So I'm going down and backwards, just to stimulate that part. And then push with your hands, push the little toe side of the foot. I'm pushing out to roll the little toe side towards the floor. The little toe side of the foot gets very, very underused. It doesn't bear weight correctly. We lose a lot of potential. The other thing is from your heel to your little toe, that whole outer side of the foot, see if you can press it down and towards the floor and away from your heel to open up the foot. Right now, if there's a place in the foot that you foot really wants you to be pushing into or stretching, please do that. And then let's move backwards. For some of you, this is it. This is excruciating. For some of you, it's nothing. So if you're one of the people that are the nothing ones, you can go all the way to the floor and lie on your back. For me, this is about it because the stretch of my thighs is quite a lot. And the last few years of sitting a lot in front of a computer and sitting in cars and sitting here and sitting there have definitely built up a certain tightness that now I'm slowly shifting with these amazing poses and this wonderful work. Letting go of my past. So keep lengthening out. If you get your shoulders and the head on the floor, that's amazing. Lengthening out those thighs. Letting them let go of all that tension. No need to hold on. And then slowly bring yourself back up to an upright position. And come back on your hands and knees. And again, open your knees and just do a few cat-cows again. Just moving back and forth, easing the center of the body into a more natural movement. And then bring your knees and feet together and just sit back for a minute to stretch out the extremities. You want to bring the hands to the palm is facing up. Point the fingers toward your knees, backwards. If you're flexible, your hands can be way forward. If this is really tight, your hands should be close to the knees. Notice that the heel of the hand or the wrist area, you want that hand fully down. Look at your fingers and spread them as wide apart as you can. If you're able to, your third finger should be going straight backwards. But you spread the fingers out as much as possible. And then just for a minute, bend the elbows, straighten the elbows, bend the elbows, and keeping the elbows bent, can you peel back? So now the fingers are down, but the palm of the hand is lifted. Big stretch into the fingers and then roll through. Now you'll turn the hands the opposite way, back of the hand, place that on the floor. Your elbows are bent. If you're tight, you get your hands right by your knees. If you're loose and this is easy for you, get them further away. And slowly stretch your elbows. And now curl your fingers like you're trying to make a fist. And open. And curl like you're making a fist. And open. And curl like you're making a fist as much as you're able to. And then peel that hand off. Whoa, that was intense for me. Turn the hands the first way. Press the palm down. Rock back, peel, bend the elbows. Peel the wrist off. Palm off and roll through the fingers. And now reverse. Back of the hand down. Elbows straighten as much as you can. As much of a fist, a curl as you're able. Roll through. Last time, spread. Now spread your fingers as wide as you can. Stretch the hand as much as you can before you get it in. Bend the elbows again. And before you lift up, press the fingertips into the mat. Activate it so you feel that whole connection of the smaller digits in your body. Keep the fingertips pressing in. Lift the palm up. Slowly stretch the inside of the fingers to come back and back of the hand, down. Spread your fingers really wide. Check and look at the palm of your hand as wide as you can make it. Straighten your elbows. Make as deep a fist as your fingers are ready to give you today. Really curl them in and stretch them and roll through. And come up. Shake your hands out. Lots of movement in there. Curl the toes under you and get them really. Now, this is the thing. Usually they curl here. How much can you get the hinge of the heel really pressing back? The knees should be together and the heels as close together as you can get them. Can you sit back and up in this position as much as you can. Relax down. Let those toes bend. They can be really, really tight, I know. And then come back. Now open your heels. The goal of that is to get the little toe pressing into the floor. Little toe, and again, work the heel back. So you get that hinge and little toe to heel as really press. If you can get the bend in the little toe, that's your first goal. If it's easy, then you try and bring the heels closer without the little toe coming off to the outer line, and then sit back again. Just kind of pay attention to the sensation of the little toe. It can get quite tight. And then come back, undo, and just lie down on your back. Before we go into Shavasana, you want the knees into your chest, rock side to side. Set yourself up for happy baby pose, so lift the knees up. If you're stiff, you hold here. If you can grab the outside of your feet, wonderful. Again, rock side to side. And then extend one foot and back, nice and easy. Doesn't matter if it doesn't go all the way. We're just stretching out the final stretch. Other leg and back. Both legs stretch out. Feel how wide you can take them. Do you feel your inner thighs? It doesn't matter if the knees straighten or not. This is just a gentle final opening. Bring the soles of the feet together and gently pull them towards your face. Your lower back will lift a little bit, so opening out there too. Then put your feet on the mat. Lengthen your spine now and roll those collarbones nice and wide. Get the shoulder blades on your back with the palms nice and wide. Check that your neck feels long, and then lengthen your legs out and let them roll open in a very relaxed manner. Allow your eyes to close, and I will talk you through your Shavasana. So stay with your eyes closed and deeply relax. Let all your limbs become heavy. Let yourself sink. Gently scan your own body and notice the pockets of areas that have stiffness and tightness, and the other areas that are loose. As best you can, let go of the tension. Sometimes we hold tension very deeply and it's an unconscious pattern. It may not be ready to go, but the best you can, let it go, release it. Check on your breathing, that it is soft and passive. The breath is coming to you, you're not doing it. Relax your mouth. Any clenching around the jaw should soften. The tongue rests on the lower palate and the lips are gently touching without any tension. The skin of the cheeks widens away from the center line of the face. The sinuses open and widen. The ear canal relaxes and widens. The eyes sink in the socket down towards the floor. The brain sinks into the back skull. The skin of the forehead widens, and the skin of the temple widens and separates. Top of the head opens. So just take a moment to enjoy this deep passivity, this gentle softness that is so healing and so nourishing to us. And as you go deeper into your relaxation, notice that the breathing changes as well. More and more, the gift of life is happening without you doing anything. The miracle of this gift, of this consciousness, of this moment, is so much bigger than us. That being aware that we're not in control, perhaps the biggest gift to surrender into so that we can enjoy the gifts coming out. And now take a few slow, deeper breaths. Wiggle your fingers and your toes so you feel the sensation there. Keep the softness in your body and bend your knees and roll to one side using your hands. Keep your eyes closed. Stay with the experience of your physical form. And gently, when you feel ready, bring yourselves to a sitting position with your eyes closed, the way you were at the beginning of the yoga practice today. And again, check in. Stay with your experience. Stay with who you are now. Your observation. How is the world affecting you now? Where are you at internally in relation to yourself and the world? And to finish, let's bring our hands into prayer pose at the heart center and give thanks for the wisdom and teachings of yoga, and give thanks and honor the inner teacher inside of each of us that's always there for guidance and direction when we look inwards and we listen to the truth in our own hearts. And let's ask to stay deeply open to how much life is flowing around us, through us, and from us. And that this is such a big cycle. And as we open to it, there are limitless possibilities, and that we're truly living in grace. Take a deep breath in. Bring your hands up to your forehead or third eye. Bring your hands down to your lips for a kiss. Bring your hands back down to your heart and bow your head to your heart. May your mind always be the servant of the heart. And then lift your head and open your eyes. And namaste, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. So just a few quick announcements. There's a new schedule for July. I think most of you have received my newsletter. I couldn't quite, it's more clear on my website, I feel. So it's the links are there to go to the website and see the full schedule. All the classes are now going to be at 9:30, no 11:30 classes. If this is breaking your heart, please let me know. I really want to do the best I can to accommodate your needs. And I look forward to having a wonderful July with you. No, only one class on Thursday. No second class, because as of July, it'll be 9:30, and I start the 4-day week on next week. I'm taking a vacation on Friday. I haven't been out of the house for about 6 months because I started living at home when my husband got very sick. So I'm going to